to support this recommendation. And if I'm interested in looking at the specific pieces of literature and the scores associated, as well as a brief summary, I just click on that link, and now all of that literature, as well as the scores and the summary, are available for me, and I can certainly scroll down through this page to look for information. So I am going to go back to the DART tool. And so I just want to remind you, when we looked at DART, we put in the condition. I did not, at this point, specify category, and I did not enter a phase of care. I simply clicked go and allowed for all of the recommendations to be provided for me. If I knew, like I did, that I was just looking for injection therapy information, I could go ahead and make that selection in the category, and now the only information that I'm going to be provided with are the carpal tunnel injections. So again, DART is just a very quick way to access that recommendation information. So next, I want to talk to you about some features that we are working on right now that will be released between now and the end of the year. So our first release will happen this coming weekend, and we will be adding greater search functionality for this site. So right now, when our users come to the website, this search bar at the top of the page is really the diving board into all of the content. So users can come here and they can use plain English terminology. So if they're looking for information on tennis elbow, they could come here and type tennis elbow. If they come in with the medical terminology and enter lateral epicondylalgia, they're going to get to the exact same place. And then the same thing holds true for diagnostic codes. So a user can come in and enter an ICD-9-CM code. They could enter an ICD-10-CM code. Or if they're looking for information on a procedure, they can go ahead and enter a CPT code. So lots of different ways to get you to the same information. Right now, when you do that, you'll be taken to our proprietary content. And within that content, we cover lots of different conditions, injuries, and illnesses, as well as procedures. And when there's overlap with the ACOEM guidelines, then we've integrated that into our content. So it's another way to access ACOEM information. And when we do that, and I'll just take you in there really quickly so I can show you what you'd be looking for. But when you enter a topic like carpal tunnel syndrome, anywhere that you see this logo for ACOEM means that this particular section is coming directly from the ACOEM practice guidelines. So in this case, we have provided those algorithms or workflows that were specific to carpal tunnel syndrome. So again, just another quick way, if we were to scroll through this information, for example, under diagnosis, we'd see that, this information is coming to us, again, directly from the ACOEM practice guidelines. And with the release that we're going to be doing this weekend, what it does is allows users to specify whether they're looking for just the ACOEM guideline content all by itself. So we have announced that update over here, and on the click here to learn more, we've provided some information. So those of you that already have access to the guidelines will see this new functionality rolling out this weekend. And again, it just allows you another way to access ACOEM guidelines content. So again, that's coming soon, and that's just one of the things that we're doing to make this content easier to find and use. The next thing that I want to point out are the links that we're putting into DART. So I'm going to go, I'm going to open up DART. And I am going to navigate to low back pain. And I am actually not going to put a category in. I'm not going to put a phase in. I'm just going to click go. And all of the recommendations, again, are available to me here. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and type in yoga. I'm going to open up this recommendation and scroll down. And in this recommendation, you'll see a reference, and it takes you to the full text of the guideline. So if I click on this, I am now in the section where yoga will be found of the full-length practice guidelines. So again, it's just another way for users to get back and forth, between the content. If the information that they're finding in DART, they want to read more, this is a way that allows them to do that. Once I'm in this page, users can scroll through, but you can also do a Control F, and I can go ahead and type in yoga, and it's going to find all those instances. And what it's telling me is that it's used that term 19 times on this page. So I can go ahead and, click through and find the recommendations that I'm looking for. The next improvement that we're making, again, will be with the DART tool. And you'll remember that as we were accessing this content for DART, that we were accessing it by the topic name. So we actually are adding codes to the DART tool. So you'll be able to search, just like you can in the search bar. You'll be able to enter diagnostic codes, CPT codes, that have all been tied to the content in order to search for information. And then finally, we will allow users to also search for the content based on the treatment recommendation. So instead of having to enter a topic at all, you could enter something like intrathecal pain pumps, and it's going to show you where in the guidelines that information is going to be located. So again, the second portion of this presentation, when we were talking about the advanced search, the URLs that will be provided in DART to the full-length guidelines, and then the ability to search by medical code and treatment, all of those improvements are going to be made between now and the end of the year. So as those additions and functionality are rolled out, we will provide, just like we did with the search, information and screenshots to help our users understand how to use that additional functionality. So with that, I am going to turn this back over to the DWC and remind users that you can get a subscription by going to that URL that was in the presentation. You can also contact Carlos Luna directly, and his information is also available in that presentation deck. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. At this time, we're going to take a few questions from audience members. If you'll bear with us for just a moment, we're going to look at the questions that have been directed towards us and try to get to as many as we can.
answer them?
Well, yeah, that was the
Yeah.
question directed to John. Yeah.
If we can just go ahead and start answering some of these questions.
Can I just jump in and
Yes,
are we?
do.
And
Yeah.
shall I read the question and then respond?
Yes, whichever you'd like to read off and
Sure.
then respond to.
Well, let me about halfway down, one says, can you review the effective date of the MTUS and pharmacy formulary? So as was noted in the presentation, the 80s order putting the updated guidelines into place went into place on November 1st, but provided in that was a 1-month delay in the effective date of those new ACOEM treatment guidelines. So the effective date for the updates to the MTUS treatment guidelines is December 1st. As far as the formulary, we can't say anything definite because with our rulemaking process, things aren't approved and finalized until they are approved and finalized. I can give you anticipated dates. So we anticipate that at the end of the first week of December, around December 7th, we should get final word from the Office of Administrative Law on our formulary regulations. If they approve them, as we hope and anticipate they do, the formulary would go into effect on January 1st, 2018. And just for FYI, if folks are interested in seeing what the regulations for the formulary look like and the MTUS drug list, those documents, as we have developed them, are available on the rulemaking page and would be a good reference for anyone wishing to make plans for the formulary.
Does Lucy also have access to these questions or no?
Yes, she does.
Well, as far as can you copy and paste guidelines from the PDF? I'm assuming that the question is, can you copy and paste guidelines from the PDF? The PDF, I assume, is referencing the PDF ACOEM guidelines posted on the DWC's website, and unfortunately, you cannot copy and paste those guidelines. Again, the PDF files are password protected and secured, and even if you tried it, it wouldn't allow you to do that.